Namaskar. We are on day 3 today of sensorial intelligence. And as we become aware of our senses, and as we become aware of, as it becomes more acute, as it becomes more sensitive, there are good things and bad things which happen to us. One of the bad things which happens to us is guilt. Guilt is something which can be crippling for people. And today we are going to be discussing guilt, how to deal with guilt, so that you can have sensorial enjoyment without the downside of it. Isn't that a good way of doing it? Alright, so let me just give me a second. Yeah. Okay, so how do we overcome guilt? First, let me go with what is guilt. Let us go step by step so we understand all aspects of this. We are able to deal with this. So what is guilt? Guilt is basically an emotion. It's an emotion which is to do with self-realization, where you become more aware of what has happened, and consequent to that, there's a certain judgment is passed. That is, that something you did or did not do, it could be so what you did not do, has gone against your values or your parents' values or your peers' value, family, society, company, the country. Okay, there is a set of values and rules that we all live by as individuals, as units of a group, units of a community, and units as a country, or as a global citizen as a whole. So there are layers of values that we hold, and which determines how we feel. Alright, so something you did or did not do, it has gone against your values or the values of peers, family, teachers, anybody you hold yourself up to. Somebody you don't care about, you don't care about their values. Somebody you care about and their values and their judgment affects you. So when what you did or did not do has gone against it, there's a possibility of guilt creeping in. And now you feel responsible for the harm done or the good which was not done. Either way. I can give an example. Let's say you have a grandmother or even a parent or a relative who, when they were alive, you didn't have time for them. You were too busy building your life, your career, your responsibilities, that you did not in any way reciprocate or take care of them when they needed it, or be there for them, or just talk to them, or visit them in Thanksgiving or festivals, anything where you believe you should have done but didn't do because of various circumstances, and when you find that they have suddenly gone, it tears you up, because you like them, you want to have done something but you didn't do. So these are things undone. So it could be things which were done or things which are undone. So any of these guilt is a huge subject. Small things you can feel guilty, like you had an ice cream when you should not have an ice cream, okay, or you didn't share equally, or you didn't do your exercise when you're supposed to do your exercise. Anything, thought, word or act which was carried out or not carried out can cause guilt if it goes against the norms, the rules in your head. It may be your own rules or incepted rules. Whatever it has gone against it, guilt can surface. So just look within. Just see what are the areas you feel guilty about. Okay, if I were to sit and make a list, I may get 100, 500,000. Okay, that's a type of list that anybody can, if they just start traveling inward, will find. Let's say you were going to a shop and then there was a beggar, and you were in a hurry. You didn't pay attention, you didn't give money, but you went and spent money in the shop. And later you may feel guilty about this, right? So this is because what would $5 or $10 do, right? You could have done that. You could have given it. Might have contributed to a meal. But on the other hand, you might have values saying that you should not promote beg, because a lot of these are organized beggary, right? There is one Dada who has, so it's a business, and so you might not want to contribute to that business because these people are being enslaved to be in that business. So anyone, but in spite of that, just the look on that person's face or the need that they had but you didn't provide for, that can pain you, and make you feel ashamed or guilty. So this is every day there are times or circumstances when you start feeling guilty about what you missed out, about what you either did or didn't do, and becoming aware and dealing with it is important, because otherwise it goes settle somewhere inside you, and somewhere it's adding weight and dragging you down. So this is guilt, okay, and it is one of the most important components that we have to let go of. I mean, the old guilt, and as you build up also learn how to deal with it so that you don't make it into a heavy weight, right? So that's what this whole conversation is about, and it's for you to reflect and start acting on this. So that guilt, we've covered what is guilt and how does it serve us. See, actually guilt can serve us or it can go against us, right? So it can harm us, it can serve us. So let's cover the areas. I've just done a few. You could probably think of a few more and add it. But it's a good thing to know that even a bad thing has good benefits and a good thing has bad benefits. I mean bad downsides. So there is no pure really good or bad thing. Light can be good or bad. Darkness can be good or bad. So anything can be good or bad. Okay, there is no such thing as this is purely bad or this is purely good. Any good in excess of can be bad. Take for example even love. Okay, love is a good pure feeling. An excess of love can become an obsession. It can imprison the object of your love, and it could, suppose it is spurned, it can affect you badly. So excess love also causes damage. I would say you should have the love of God, the way God loves us. If you read, in the Bible, the way He says, that Adam and Eve, when He created, He just gave them one rule. Okay, so don't eat from that one apple tree. The whole garden is out there. All the trees are available to you. One apple tree, don't eat an apple from that. That's just one rule. Otherwise, you're free to do whatever. So no clothes, no nothing. There's no rules. Anything goes. That is how man was created. What happened? That one thing, man could not stop his temptation. He went and had it. Okay. He had it, then he felt guilty, and he started wearing clothes to hide his shame. Okay, this is how it evolved. Now, God as God could have prevented it, right? Because He could have said, why should this guy feel guilty? Let me not allow him to have in that tree, or let me remove that rule. Any one possibility He could have done. He could have put lightning and struck down that tree so that this guy doesn't get tempted. He had the power, right? But God gave us free will. Okay? He loved us so much that He gave us free will. Just think about this. When your love is so pure, you want the object of your love to have its own freedom, to be fully actualized and not be imprisoned by your love. Right? So, it is important that you know that I jumped from guilt to something else, but I hope it was pertinent to you that guilt can be good or guilt can be bad. Anything can be good, anything can be bad. So how does it serve us? How does guilt serve us? That's my dog. I mean, he's making a lot of noise, so I'm just wondering what's going on. Okay, how does it serve us? It is a check to see that what we do is the right thing. Okay, because when you feel guilty, you know that there's something wrong. You're doing something wrong. So it's a check. It helps you stay in check to know whether you should go ahead or not. Second, it raises a mirror on your thoughts, words and actions. So basically it reflects back on you. You have the ability now to do that. It's only that because of that you feel guilty. So when you look at your own thoughts again and the words and actions, it gives you the opportunity to shift them, to change them if it does not serve you or if it does not serve your highest values. So you can shift them. Third, it shows that we have empathy. We can see the consequences of our thoughts, words and actions in someone else. So because of which we tone it down or change it or shift it or whatever so that it does not harm the other person or the other person's values. And lastly, it builds us to our higher selves. It holds us to a higher version of ourselves so that we lead life at a higher scale rather than a lower scale. So these are the ways that guilt serves us. I'm sure you might find a few more also to add to it. Please do, because it's for you to help you reflect, to see where it will serve you and where it will harm you. Okay, so when you have guilt, it can become debilitating. It can actually make you kind of locked in a kind of a paralysis where you're unable to act. I've seen people in that state where the guilt is like completely consumed them. So it can become debilitating. It prevents you from being yourself. Okay, who you are is covered up in this guilt, and you become a shadow of yourself. So that is really, really sad when it happens. Then you are carrying a lot of weight unnecessarily. That weight can get dropped because guilt is to do with something in the past. Okay, if it's an ongoing guilt, you can correct it. But what is in the past, you may not be able to correct it. You may salvage some of it, or you may in some way offer solace and try to make up. But you can't change the fact that it happened, right? So, but you could drop that weight. So unnecessary carrying of baggage is the third way it can harm us. The fourth way is when you mistake other people's crime as your own. That's another deadly guilt which people have. Let me give you an example, a pretty bad example actually. Let's take a girl got raped. What happens? Actually, she should feel anger. Anger against the aggressor. Okay, somebody has taken advantage of her, and somebody's attacked her. Okay, and she needs to be angry and defend herself. But some people, I mean, not necessarily during the event or later, they carry the guilt of, did I invite it on myself? Did I dress right? Did I speak right? Did I say right? Did I go to the wrong place? Did I? So did I contribute to the crime? Okay, that is something which a person can undergo, and they could feel guilty for a crime they did not commit. Okay, this is in rape. It can happen in an organizational setting where you are asked to do something and you didn't have sufficient knowledge that this is something which is not to be done, and then when you're caught or when this whole thing blows up, you find that you are a pawn or you were a contributing factor in some crime which has happened there, and the guilt of being an accused or a criminal or whatever. Though technically you didn't know what was happening. Now that again, there are people, you see that on TV also about some guys who got docked for something that they didn't do. Somebody somewhere commits a crime in cahoots with someone else in the organization, but the person lowest down who has no clue about what is happening is caught. Okay, and pays a price for it when he is not even aware of what he has done. So this also happens. So other people's crimes, when you start owning, it could harm you. Then other people's opinions could intrude into your space and well-being. So their opinion, let's say for example, Bahu, a new daughter-in-law comes in and she wants to dress in a particular way. The mother-in-law's opinion differs, and her body language and other things can make this daughter-in-law cringe and change or adapt herself to something that she does not believe in, and she has to live somebody else's life. Now that's another way where she could feel guilt. She should actually feel angry. Yeah, but so it depends. You see, we have choice over what emotions we want to feel. Actually, none of these emotions are thrust on us. It evolves or it is invoked. Okay, but you can choose to invoke something else in its stead. Okay, we have the choice. Remember, God gave us free will. That's the story I gave a little earlier. He gave us free will. Okay, and everything, our responses basically, see, the rape you may not prevent, but our response we can prevent. That's where I'm coming from. The event which happened in the past, a crime, you were an abettor to a crime without your knowledge, or you were a victim of a crime, or you were unhappy bystander to an event where you are dragged in. Okay, any such thing where you're now paying the price for something which happened in the past. Okay, you cannot change the past, you cannot change the event, but your response to that event, you're blaming yourself or blaming something else or whatever, all of that can be changed. You can decide in a pragmatic way where you stand, how it happened, and absolve yourself of the responsibility. Okay, even if you are responsible, take the responsibility. If you were responsible for that particular event, you were also equally responsible, partially responsible, fully responsible, or whatever. Okay, take that responsibility. If you do have a responsibility there, accept the responsibility, forgive yourself, forgive that event, move forward, because that is in your control now. Okay, you can't go back and change that event. That was in the past timeline. But your reaction and your present and your future is in your control. And you could decide whether you're going to take it in your control or coast along like one rudderless boat going towards a steep waterfall, and you're going to go over the waterfall, tumble down and die. Okay, you could choose to drift to a very high waterfall and then let it go. Or you could choose to steer, go to the bank and lead a life, show how successful you are and how you can be happy in spite of the bad things which either people did to you, or you were an unfortunate victim of, or you were a party to also. It doesn't matter. Alright, whatever it is, you could let bygones be bygones and create a whole new beginning, right? So other people's opinions could intrude into your space and well-being. Prevent that. All right. at least be conscious of it and willingly get into something. Like that Bahu, for example, the daughter-in-law, if she is happy to take on these different set of clothes because she sees herself as a grown woman with certain responsibilities and that she needs to do these certain things, if that is her evolution, that is fine. If she feels that she is young enough, she should wear those pretty dresses that she's used to wearing, and she should feel as young as she actually feels inside and not age unnaturally, because you're either way, okay, whatever it is, she should become comfortable. Either she should change herself into the new comfort zone, or get the other person to agree to a common ground and move forward, so that you're able to lead a life without guilt, right? So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So other people's opinion. Sixth one, prevents you from being your authentic self. Yes. So some of what I said earlier would fit into that. So what is important is you need to be your authentic self without having to impose yourself on somebody else's authentic self. There's a difference. Our authentic self should not be at the cost of somebody else's authentic self. Alright. So again, taking this Bahu and mother-in-law story. So the Bahu cannot, if she expects a mother-in-law also to dress the way she does, change. That doesn't work. See, mother-in-law can be herself, where let's say you're going to a religious function, a family function where you're expected to dress in a particular traditional manner. Okay, at that time you make the change because that is the value system of that event. Alright, and you want to be part of that event. So when you do that and you gracefully adopt the dress which is required for that, but at the same time when you go to the beach or you go to a party, you go to out, you decide what is required for that depending on which setting you're going into, and whether it is something where you will not stick out so badly that it will backfire on you, or you will be part of the crowd. Everybody is like this and it's perfectly okay to be like this, any which way. You could decide. It's not that just because others are like this you should dress like that. I don't believe in that. Be yourself, that's it. Okay, and be yourself and be comfortable in different surroundings and adapt yourself so that your ability to blend in, stand out, whatever you want is achieved with you in harmony and balanced, where you don't feel disharmonized or imbalanced, right? If that's a word, disharmonized, I don't know. Okay, so don't prevent yourself from being guilt can make you not be your authentic self. So you need to drop guilt. Don't get guilt to take away your happiness and well-being. It's not worth it. Okay, so your happiness and well-being is more important, and it has to be sustainable and long-lasting. So you have to carry everybody along. If you're living in a particular type of a setting, you need to carry them along so that it's not like you won a temporary battle but you're losing the war. Don't get there. Second, last but one, guilt can make you sick. Actually, you could lose your health. You could certain organs can fail. All of that can happen just because you're guilty. Okay, and in extreme cases, it can kill you. All right. So it's guilt is not something you want to keep inside you. It's acid. It needs to be let out safely, without harming others, without harming you. All right. It's acid. Deal with it carefully. Let it go. Let it go in a manner where it doesn't harm the environment and it doesn't harm you. Right? Good. So that is guilt. How does it harm us? Already done. Should we let it go? All right. What do you say? Should we let guilt go? You can read that. Of course, yes. It is old baggage. It is acid. It is weight. It does not serve you anymore. It may have served you earlier. It may have pointed certain things which shifts you might need to make, or certain adjustments you might have to make. Whatever it is, might have pointed to it. But now it is old baggage. It can go. Learn the lessons, let it go. And unravel your authentic self by dropping the old guilt. Because you have to allow space for new guilt to come, right? Like I told you, every day it can happen. If you are leading a full life, alright, and your meetings are 50, 100, whatever number of people a day, and you're interacting with the world outside, or you're watching news, you can watch news and feel guilty, right? You can, if you're allowing the environment to come, see, our senses, when it is sensitive and it's capturing things, images, words, it's capturing, when it does, it interacts with us. There is a relationship being created and there is a transaction being created, and guilt can arise due to any number of reasons. Alright, so allow for new one to come in and let the old one go, and the new one has to be swept off as early as possible. It is like housekeeping at home. Just imagine, you don't sweep for 1 week, what happens? Right? And you don't sweep for 1 month, 1 year, just imagine what happens. So first the old muck has to go. Then it's spick and span. Let's say you called in the professional cleaners and you spent a ton load of money and you become spick and span. All the old muck is gone. The next hour, the next day, it's still dirty. It's dusty. You need to sweep again, and you need to sweep again and again. Just because it's getting dusty doesn't mean you stop doing it. Okay, this is life. Alright, when you're living life, you will gather these type of weight and things which don't serve you also. And those have to be you have to let them go in a graceful manner, so that it does not stifle you and bring you down. Okay, for that reason you need to let it go. So let go of the old guilt. Then how can we let it go? Okay, that's a big question. Okay, now there are many ways. Okay, intellectually, how can we let it go? Acknowledge first, recognize, accept and acknowledge the fact that it happened. Understand why it happened. When you understand it dispassionately, okay, again taking the example of the person, I'm just going back to these examples, please don't mistake me, of the person who got raped and who is now taking on some sense of ownership because of the way she dressed or whatever. Assume that is what is happening. I'm not saying that's because it's a social, this is what you read about in the papers. Okay, so sometimes a girl can get swayed by it and start getting these doubts. Alright, and that, see, when you understand why it happened, no, I did not. This is not my reality. It did not, I mean, I was lot of times more conservatively dressed people get raped. And it's not necessarily that they were, like bling in the face type of provocatively dressed or anything like that. That guy, the rapist, he may have been, aroused by something else but vented somewhere else. And that is the danger. Okay, but this person who's vented out is a victim. Okay, but she sometimes takes on the onus of the crime and responsibility that she might be in some way have contributed to it. It's totally wrong. Okay, so in an intellectual manner you can disassemble the whole thing which happened and realize clearly, okay, this is my fault, this is not my fault, okay, this was my fault, it was an inadvertent fault, okay, It's not at all my fault. Okay, it was totally that guy's fault. So there's no reason for me to feel guilt. Absolutely 1%, 0.1% also I don't hold any guilt there because it is absolutely not mine. Okay, so the responsibility can be, you can drop it. Okay, this is why intellectually you can analyze. So that kid whose career got spoiled because he's implicated in some case where he didn't know at all what he was doing. Okay, so if he is going to feel guilty, hey, I should have checked that thing, I should have rejected that application, I should have done this or done that. He didn't have the wherewithal of the tools at that time when he did it. Today, after 2 months, 4 months, 5 months, reading the papers, seeing what all has happened, he could think, hey, I should have known this. Okay, why didn't I put a stop to it? But he didn't know it at that time. It's today he knows it. So sometimes we carry this and we find ourselves guilty for what happened at that time, which is not required at all. You don't have to beat yourself up. That's all I'm saying. See, if it is your mistake, accept it. Not your mistake, accept that also. That's all I'm saying. It could be your mistake, may not be your 0.1% your mistake, 99% your mistake. Whatever it is, with clarity, accept. Understand why it happened. And if it was your mistake, 100%, 99, 100, 10, whatever, forgive yourself. Because I don't think anybody consciously goes and does a crime. I mean, unless, okay, yes, there may be people like that who are built like that. I don't know. Okay, but basically, if you're listening to this course, I assume that you want to make some changes and improve yourself so that overall you can impact the world around you better, which is why you're coming into a course like this. So my presumption is that you want good for yourself, good for those around you. All right, so on that basis I am saying that it is not possible for you to be unalloyed bad. Okay, where with the intention of harming somebody you're living all the time. All right, so if it was inadvertent, forgive yourself. That's all I'm saying. A lot of times it's an inadvertent mistake, an act of omission or commission. It can be an act of omission, it can be an act of commission. Either way, I don't think somebody knowing that this will happen will go and do it. Okay, so in that sense, forgive yourself. Then fourth, make reparations. In whatever way possible, make reparations. If not to that victim or the person who got affected, it can be somebody else who's in the situation or somewhere else, because the universe will work it out. Make up. That's all we're saying. Then learn the lessons from what has happened and heal yourself. These are all intellectually you can deal with this. So this is something which you can read up more about and learn on your own. So this is one way. Some people are intellectually oriented. Another way is at the energy level, the chakra level, the sacral chakra meditation. So that would help enormously in the Swadhisthana meditation, where the orange light, orange ball, which is that spot behind below the navel, a little behind, closer to the spine. So that is a spot where you meditate on the orange ball, emanating light, and imagine yourself as water, and where you wash away the guilt. Listen to any of those audios, the audios which I have shared in this course, or it can be, you can find a better audio on YouTube. There are many audios. The 1 hour audios, 10-minute audio, 15-minute audios, and so on. Choose one with the right tonality, light, sound, whatever resonates with you, and do a sacral chakra meditation and wash away this at the energy level. So you don't have to do too much thinking if you're not oriented that way. See, some people are oriented this way, some people are oriented this way. So I'm just giving you different ways of how you can let it go. So you could use chakra meditation, you could use Reiki, You could use any number, TFT. There are so many different healing mechanisms. I've just spoken of one. There are many others. You could use that. Then, sometimes the guilt is so bad, it kind of debilitates you and doesn't allow you to function your normal self. Now, for such people, professional might be required. In some cases, gone so deep that one may need professional therapy in case you're unable to lead your normal life. So just choose professional help and go for it. So this is how you can let it go. And then finally, how to protect yourselves from guilt. So we come to the last section now. You can't protect yourself from guilt. Okay, it's going to hit you again and again. As long as you're alive, there will be opportunities for you on a daily basis, literally, to be able to. So all I'm asking is let go of the old guilt. Don't store them, not worth it. New ones may have to be experienced and then let go. It all depends on our evolution, our spiritual evolution, okay, in this world. So as we keep experiencing letting them go, the same thing will not come back to us because that lesson you have passed. You've gone from second to third standard, fourth standard to fifth standard. As you move up, the old lessons may not come back. New lessons will show up. You deal with them, learn, pass them, move forward. So new ones may have to be experienced and let go of them too. Tools that can help you protect yourself is, these are some of the tools which can help you protect yourself. One is love for all, kind of a divine love. It's not a sensual or sexual love or a possessive love. It's God's love, where He allows the loved, the object of love to have free will. Okay, so love for all. So basically, don't take away somebody else's freedom or free will. Love them altruistically, in a very open manner. And trust in the Creator, seek in His direction. Okay, love yourself. Trust in the Creator, seek in His direction. In this, there is one particular, I think Sai Baba's saying, I'm just trying to get that saying, have no fear, I am here, something like that. So basically, that kind of helps you to get a sense that He knows what is right and what is wrong. So, and allow the divinity to work through you. Okay, if you completely trust the divinity. So trust in the Creator, seek His direction and go forward. Love yourself, empathize, forgive yourself as well as others. And finally remember, you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're beyond all of this. Okay, your body will be dropped, your mind will be dropped. You're beyond all of this. So don't add so much of weight with all this guilt in you that you're being weighed down. Alright, you let go of all of this. So evolve to pure love, evolve to pure forgiveness, evolve to pure light, and all of this will fall off. Thank you for watching. So I hope this was useful, and any questions on this, I'd like you to just put 3-4 things or 5 things, 10 things, whatever that you really liked. Put the top learnings in this comment section below, and also put 1, 2 or 3 takeaways which you're going to practice. Alright, so that will help me, because it will help me understand what you picked. I shared quite a bit. So what is it that you picked? What is resonating? What are people like? And I would love to know. So if you really like this, your comments below would be much appreciated. Thank you for your time, and I wish you a guilt-free life. Take care. Bye. See you.